welcome. It's time to talk about how to win over and win points with a Capricorn, as well as how to know when a Capricorn likes you. Now remember, all of this is based on the Capricorn energy. There is so much more that goes into compatibility than just the sun sign. But this does apply to the Capricorn sun sign, the Capricorn rising sign, the Capricorn moon sign, or just anyone who happens to have a lot of Capricorn in their birth chart. Physical contact and quality time. Capricorn people really do long for the opportunity to be physically affectionate with people. Capricorns themselves, they do live very independent, very solitary lives a lot of the time. And a lot of the time they're also hoisted up into positions where they're not allowed to get as close to people as they would like, whether they be authority figures or they may be in leadership positions, which you have to admit, being a leader can sometimes be a little bit lonely and alienating. So physical contact goes a long way. If a Capricorn decides to move past that perceived boundary and become physically connected with you, or they communicate a lot with you in a more physical way while they're actually talking to you, this can really be indicative of a Capricorn wanting to not only get closer, but to keep you close. Quality time is also a very big thing for a Capricorn person because they really don't want to go off of what they think a person is like in their public life. Capricorn people understand that some people have a public life, some people have a private life, and their personality or the way they act will change. Now, not everyone's like that. Some people are the same whether they're in public or whether they're in private or whether they're in front of a camera or, whether they're with friends in person. But Capricorn people want to have that quality one-on-one time because they aren't really going to be paying attention to your public life. Your public life isn't really important to them because they know that their public life is not the full, spectrum of their personality either. The act of service. Capricorn people really do pay attention to how kind, how generous, and how considerate a person is, and how far a person might go out of their way. A Capricorn isn't necessarily looking for a slave or a servant in a partner, far from it, but they do want to know that a person is going to take it upon themselves to do the responsible teammate thing and, stay involved, stay informed, and again, perform those acts of service to help out without being told. Another important language for the Capricorn is, again, building on the physical contact opportunity. They really need another person to kind of show them when it's okay to become more physical. They may do the pat on the hand, or, they might do the hand holding, the hand on the shoulder, things that might be done between just friends, but this is your green light to take things further. They really do like to have a trade-off. Capricorn people like an organized sort of dating regimen where it's kind of I do something, then you do something, and then you do something, and then I do something. They really like to have a volley back and forth. One of the most important things is drive. Capricorn wants to know that you are a driven person, and they're not going to be talking about whether or not you're trying to make a lot of money or get famous or become the king or queen of anything. Capricorns really don't care so much about whether or not you want to become a superstar, but they want to know that you are driven to be the best at whatever you're doing. So whether that's being the best parent or the best cook, or perhaps the best, motocross racer, it doesn't matter. Capricorn people are also very, very turned on by independently responsible people, making sure that you can show enough independent motivation, you're not being told what to do, you're not looking for a boss, and you don't need it is going to go a long way. Also, being able to be a leader in your own right is a big deal to a Capricorn. It's not that they always want to be with the leader of the pack, but if they can see you being a leader and a good one to your subjects, whether you are the leader of your friendship circle, the leader of a crew at work, the leader of an art project, they want to see you large and in charge, even in the smallest of ways, because they're definitely going to know that they want, that you're going to be, I guess you could say, capable of taking on that role, should there be a need for somebody to take on that role. Talk about the turn-offs, or how to lose points with a Capricorn. Probably the biggest way you can lose points to Capricorn is being unaccountable for your actions. If a Capricorn asks you why you did X, Y, and Z, and you say, I don't know, you just lost a ton of points, because Capricorns like people who are able to explain themselves and people who behave consciously. This is a big deal because Capricorns are really turned off by drama. They really don't want drama or accident-prone situations or crisis-prone relationships. They don't want to deal with all that emotional baggage. Another thing you've got to pay attention to with the Capricorn is be careful about rudeness. What a Capricorn might consider rude, you might not. There is such a thing as being okay, being blunt, being frank, and being direct. Absolutely. You can call it how it is. Capricorns will be fine. But make sure you don't do it out of turn, and make sure you can time your bluntness correctly with a Capricorn, or else they're not going to be too excited or too amused by that kind of candidness. So I hope you guys found this helpful on how to understand a little bit more of the way your Capricorn works and operates. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And if you would like to get a compatibility reading or just a general consultation with me, you can follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com.